So recently, I watched a movie called The Medium. This is a South Korean slash Thai mockumentary. And I will say that I really enjoy the mockumentary genre of horror. I think that it makes the story feel real. It makes it look like you're watching something that really happened. And so when the scares pop up, because what these mockumentaries like to do is present footage that has been, that's been discovered according to the story. And so they play the footage and something horrifying pops up, and then you'll see some guy getting interviewed, some expert, some journalist, and he's talking about the case, he's talking about the story, or he's talking about the horrifying footage that you've just witnessed, and it's a very creative way to present a horror story, to present a horror film. A really good example of this is an Australian mockumentary called Lake Mungo, or Lake Mungo, if you don't want to try to use the Aussie accent. Lake Mungo was a well put together mockumentary, although there are some parts about it that I didn't like. But nonetheless, there are some solid, solid, scary scenes in Lake Mungo, and that was it, these scares were pretty well executed. Uh, but this film that I watched, this Asian horror movie that I watched, The Medium, um, it's a long movie. It's 2 hours long, and really for the first hour of the film, you're getting familiar with the characters. You're building this sort of building this rapport with the characters in the film, and that's what a good director is going to do in a movie. He's going to dedicate a substantial chunk of the first half of the film just getting you familiar with the characters, all the while peppering the film with these foreshadowing scenes that may have some scares, or really that may let the audience know that something bad is going to happen. And that's what this film does. In the first hour, you're getting used to these characters, and then the film centers around this one woman. Her name is Min or Ming, and the way that the Thais say the name, they sort of say it through their noses, Ming, Ming, or something like that. Ming or Min, and she works this regular office job, and she somehow gets possessed by this demon because, the film actually shows how she does. I mean, she starts dabbling into superstitions. She starts dabbling into native Thai witchcraft. And so she gets possessed by a demon, and she starts acting very strangely. The first hour of the film begins to within the first hour of the film, they start showing you this strange behavior. She starts hitting kids. She has sex with random men. She starts acting in a sadistic manner. She's not acting herself. And her family consults a relative who is a witch doctor. And the witch doctor is dedicated to this ancient deity named Bayan. And Bayan is this sort of voodoo, sort of Buddhist-like deity. And you know how in Southeast Asia, really in Asia, much of East Asia, you will see the amalgamation between Buddhism and local deities. You see this, for example, in Japanese religion, where they have mixed, and they've been doing this for a very long time, obviously, where they have mixed Shinto gods with Zen Buddhism, and this is part of the Mahayana Buddhist tradition of syncretism, of mixing local deities with Buddhism. But you'll see this thing in Thailand where they're Buddhist, and they also have these deities that are Indo-Chinese. Thailand is an Indo-Chinese country, just like Vietnam. It's part of Indochina. So you'll see you'll see Buddhism, and Buddhism does come from India, but at the same time you'll also see a lot of things that would spring from Hinduism or would spring from ancient Indian culture or religion. So the family consults this witch doctor who's also a relative of the family, and she begins to do witchcraft as a way to exorcise the demon out of this girl. And I'm sitting there watching this movie, and I'm thinking to myself, well, if somebody is demonically possessed, how can you go to one satanic religion to exorcise the demon of another satanic religion? Like, how does that make any sense? But this is what goes on in these sorts of cultures. You'll hear about people getting possessed, and then you'll hear about some witch doctor trying to utilize some sort of voodoo magic to repulse the demonic entity. Now, the girl's mother in this film is a woman who has converted to Christianity. She has left her native religion. But nonetheless, she is so desperate to save her daughter that she says that she is willing to break the rules of her Christian faith if it means saving her daughter's soul and really her daughter's life. Because as the daughter continues in her condition of being demonically possessed, she begins to act extremely violent and extremely sadistic. So it comes to the point where they literally have to lock her up in a room. So the mom breaks with her Christianity and goes with the witch doctor. The witch doctor starts doing some weird stuff like cracking chicken eggs and dipping the chicken eggs in sand and walking around lit candles for hours, just bizarre stuff. And then the witch doctor lady goes to a male witch doctor who is kind of a fraudster. And this male witch doctor utilizes another ritual at the same time to, I guess, double the power against this demon. And so the mother consults with the deity Bayan, and it comes to the point where the mother believes that she is possessed with the spirit of Bayan, and now she is going to save her daughter. So I'm thinking to myself, how are you going to save your daughter's soul by consulting a witch doctor, which is also satanic? It's like wanting an exorcism and going to an imam as opposed to a Christian priest. And eventually what happens is the girl, the daughter, lashes out at everybody and partakes in cannibalism, and she begins to actually attack people and gnaw the flesh off of their faces and their necks and their stomachs. And not only her, but the priests who are part of the male witch doctor's entourage, they also get possessed, and they also start acting like zombies and cannibalizing other people. It's pretty horrific. There's a lot of cannibalism in this movie, which is not something that I'm going to condemn, because at least it shows what the diabolical can lead people to, the types of behavior that people will turn to under the influence of the diabolical. I'm not one of these Christians who watches a film and thinks, "Oh my God, this needs to be edited for the homeschoolers." Or I'm not that type of person. I don't really get into that sort of nonsense. A good movie is going to portray reality, no matter how dark it is. And that doesn't mean that you make a film in bad taste, but they are dark realities in this world that I think should be portrayed. Not in a weird way, but at least in a way that conveys the message to people that cannibalism is real, that this is what the diabolical can lead you to. And eventually this girl, Min, she cannibalizes multiple people, and it comes to the point where she grabs her mother, douses her in gasoline, and lights her on fire. So here's the mother who thought that she could go to some witch doctor to save the soul of her daughter, only for her to be on the floor, covered in gasoline, and being burned alive by her daughter, who is demonically possessed. And so the witch doctor did not save her. The witch doctor did not save her daughter from this demonic spirit. So yeah, that's that film. It's called The Medium. It came out in 2021. It's a little bit boring. There are times in this film where it feels like it's dragging. But again, it's a 2-hour long movie, and it's in a language that it's in a different language, so you have to read the subtitles. And there's a lot of dialogue, there's a lot of talking, but nonetheless, there are moments in this film where the horror that the director is trying to convey to the audience really shines. Anyway, you guys just heard some theology. God bless.